Greetings everyone. On YouTube, there's loads and loads of other social media platforms as well. There's loads of video clips of people making homemade DIY fly traps. It's summer and flies bother a lot of people. It's good reasons for keeping fly numbers down, obviously, because they're a nuisance and they're carrying diseases and all sorts of things. And most of these traps are made out of plastic bottles, and they seem to work very, very well. But what I'm interested in is, unlike those people who make these traps and kill flies, they put an attractant in. It could be a bit of rotten meat, rotten fish, rotten eggs, all sorts of things, anything that'll attract flies. And you can put a bit of water in and make like a soup, and even put a bit of washing up liquid in. That's dish soap in the States and some other countries. Washing up liquid in the UK, and that breaks the surface tension of the liquid and makes it easier for the flies, the blue balls, the mosquitoes or whatever to drown. Of course, once you do that, the insects are pretty much wasted. Probably no one gives a second thought to the fact that they're actually insects and full of protein. For all intents and purposes, the meat. And years ago, I was married in those days, I had fish ponds and kept ornamental fish. And whenever I was gardening, I got worms, snails. I used to throw them straight into the fish pond. So I had a big koi carp, and some were really large. And you could get these big sort of garden snails, like almost 2 inches across. And some of the carp I just throw them in, they just swallow them, crush them up, spit the shell out, and that was that. And if I was at the beach, I used to turn over the seaweed on the strand line, and there'd be millions upon millions of little sandhoppers, little crustaceans that jump about. Very important job they do, eating seaweed that's being cast up on the tide, or the detritus on the beach, breaking it down, a bit like woodlice do on land, in your garden perhaps. I used to collect those, and a handful of them in, just a bit of a treat for the fish. Boom, walloped, all gone. And obviously, if you keep fish in a pond, insects naturally fall in anyway, and the vast majority of them are just consumed. It's all good food for the fish, and probably a nice treat if you're feeding them commercial fish food, sort of bland pellets. Nonetheless, I thought to myself, because I like to sort of repurpose stuff, and can I use this again, can I use this in another way, upcycle, call it what you will, recycle. I thought, if you're going to catch a lot of flies in one of these things, and some of these traps catch hundreds of them in just a day or two, why not utilise the flies as a food source? So of course you could give them to your chickens, or in my case something in a fish. And of course, when you've got a bottle where you know, bait in the bottom stinking away, I'm going to demonstrate this with a small bottle, and I'm going to make one of these traps. But I'm going to do it with a small bottle, simply because if any flies it catches, and hopefully it will catch a few, I'm going to then seal this and put it in the freezer, and that will refreeze any of the bait. So that should get rid of any smell, but it also frees the flies, the blue balls, whatever else is in there. And then when they're frozen solid, they're much more easy to deal with. You can just open this up, get the flies out, throw that in the recycling, and if the bait's still intact, I can even reuse the bait as well, and maybe get a few more days out of it. The more they stink, the more they attract the flies. The blue bottles, incidentally, they can smell a dead animal from sort of 3 or 4 miles away, maybe even a bit more if the wind is quite strong carrying it, the scent. So what I've done there basically is I've done a black line around there. That's somewhere my scissors will go around there. Basically you cut it off, invert that with the lid on, modify that so it's big enough for the flies to get through. Seal it up with the bait in, and you can leave it standing or hang it up. Knock a couple of little holes through, bit of string, and hang it on a branch or something. So first and foremost, it's so simple this. All on that black light. Reminds me of one of those little craft lessons you might have done in school many years ago. In some videos, they're just putting staples through or a bit of wire to hold that in place like that. That'll be inverted like that inside, and the funnel, the flies will come through the funnel to get at the bait, and you'll find it very difficult to go out. You'll walk up there, and almost none of them will find the actual way out that they actually used to come in. So that's that. Now with this, I'm going to piece of fish in there. I'm actually going to make several of these. This is my demo one. I'll put 2 or 3 up and increase my chances. So that's that. Now with this, I've discovered this is quite durable plastic on these water bottles. So you want that hole to be no more than 8mm, 6 to 8mm. That let the bulk of the flies through. If I go there like that, take that top off. I made a hole there. That's probably a little bit too big for that, but I can just put a blob of paper in there and that'll do that. It's quite difficult to take that end piece off, to be honest. Other bottles, if it's just a flat lid, you can just make your hole through it with a hot piece of metal or something like that. So basically put that on there like that. That's on. Fits it there. I want to anchor this into place. I'm going to use parcel tape. It's not going to rain for a few days, so that's good. So basically I'm just going to anchor that in place like that. Both sides. I'll just put this around it. A little bit over the top, I can just bend that down then, like that. And that's basically it. You can see the hole there. And I could knock a couple of holes through there and put a string through it, or I could just stand it up on a flat surface. It doesn't really matter. Once that starts, once that's defrosted fully and the smell gets out, it should attract flies very, very quickly. So next thing is, ladies and gents, I'll go and put this out somewhere quiet, away from where people can smell it, and dogs and things. Just on the outskirts of town, a little quiet spot I know. And leave it there for a day, and we'll see what happens. And that's basically the simple sort of generic structure of one of these traps. As I say, I'm choosing a small bottle. I'm going to do 2 or 3 of these maybe, and I'm choosing a small bottle just so they'll fit in the freezer. I can freeze the contents. So to the woods. Right. A little bait here, a bit of moisture in the bottom there. It's come off the defrosting fish. I've just put a little bit of string around this, like that, and there's a branch behind me. I'm just going to hang it on that, and that'll be its position. I'm just off a main road here. There's no footpath above me, and so people not walk along the supporting wall there, and it should be quite secure here. So I'll just go and hang that up now, and that's where it'll stay until I come back and check it out. And the rest of the day I'll leave it tomorrow as well, so it'll be a full 24 hours, including overnight. I left my little fly trap out a few hours longer than I expected, and middle of the afternoon on the next day. So it's had a good 24 hours of daylight, a bit of night time of course, and I'm stood a few feet from it, and I can see there's lots and lots of flies inside it. So just go over and have a look. You can see there. You can see there as well how the flies go up the side of the funnel. I've great difficulty finding a way out. That's flies there. No blue bottles in there. Starting to whiff. I can smell it from here. So it clearly works. So there's a big blue ball there. So I'll take these few flies, and there's probably a good dozen in there. So I'll take these, maybe a few more, tucking themselves in behind the fish there. There's even an ant. Yeah, a little ant there. So I'll collect those in and get them into the freezer next time you see these. Yes, I'm at my mate's fish pond, a small pond in his yard, and there those flies have got a little fly trap. I'm just going to flick them onto the surface and hopefully yeah, so I'll just put these there. Yes, there's the blue flies floating on the surface there. Throw a few in there for you, I can collect them up. Can't even see him. There's some. Oh yeah, see him. Just took a fly there. Yeah, those few flies have dispersed across the surface now. Yeah, normally you'd leave those fly traps out for days. The object of the exercise was to catch and kill flies. So I wanted mine specifically in a certain way, and obviously got a few. There's only a couple left. I've seen floating around and moving around with the current in the pond. They will be consumed. A couple of them have gone. It's a matter of scale. You can, of course, scale it up and catch hundreds, even thousands of flies, and use them as food. Of course, it's a bit more labour intensive. That it's just as easy to put some rotten meat or rotten fish out and let it become fly blown and let it turn into maggots. They're a lot easier to harvest, and protein wise just as good for the fish. So this is just a dimension of using these flies as a free protein source. It's another dimension. So if you like what you see, ladies and gents, feel free to give me a like, leave a comment, or even subscribe. Also, many thanks to my existing subscribers. Support is very much appreciated. Once again, boys and girls, thank you.